recording?
Hey, pause. What the
Okay.
Who said that?
Who said that?
Zoom in. Wait a minute.
Listen up.
What up, my name is Chaxi Erosh is in the building. We are the JUS Kidding Podcast and we are back at the Kioko Art Gallery in Lavington with none other than the latest S trip in town.
I did not see that coming.
You guys are dreadful.
See
what I
did?
Rastaman got soul.
By
How is he not
pressure.
gonna soil? Anyway, so we have the new dad in town, man.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? I was reading this on Twitter that Kitambo, when you were younger, you had those uncles who are in their 20s, 30s, when they were kuja jioni kama wamelewa.
Wow,
and the size we are those uncles. Can you imagine? Ulikuwa jambia huyu
so true.
Mimi sasa kwa kama mzee.
Lazima usome.
Making us feel old.
No, your mother works very hard. Sema kwa mshasa tisa.
But me, I had cool ones. They gave me booze. I think they are the ones who actually they helped me because I never touched booze for like 17 years.
And then what happened?
And then now,
Eventually.
and then here we are.
But I know
But they were the first ones to give me
there was
booze.
that point when ulikuwa unajambia that can never be me.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Ona sasa.
Yeah.
Haki ya nani?
Tuone sasa.
Ona sasa. Tuone koroga ndio sisi.
But I mean, it's I think I find time very interesting and just how time works. Because as well, I know when I was around 8-9, msee angeniambia kwa 25 years ama 30 years niko like, hey, msee ni mzee. Like umeshiza miaka zote. You know. So hizi ndio watu tuna clock hizo mileage.
I think in life we are constantly going through that.
Yeah.
In the sense that time does reveal a lot of things to you and about you that you don't realize, and you'll only realize with time. I'll give you an example. Remember when you're in nursery school, you're like, wow, I can't wait to be in Primo. You know, for you that was like
the dream.
those are the guys who figured.
Yeah.
And then you get to Primo, and then you realize there's lower primary, and then there's upper primary.
Yes.
And then upper primary wako kwa ile block ingine.
Na wanaandika na biro.
Na wanaandika na big.
Ni mnatumia pencil. It's only when you get there you realize we were so little then.
Yeah.
And then now you get to upper primary. And then now you get to class 8.
Then class
and
8.
And the whole school looks up to you, you know.
Class 8.
When you le Buddha.
When you le Ka form 1 nyindo
You're nothing.
nyindo extras za shule.
But do you think that you run a risk of missing out on life because you're constantly thinking, I'm looking forward towards that nini.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
That's I mean even you know the truth is yesterday and tomorrow is a lie. Like there's things that happened to you yesterday, but you see what you know about yesterday is based on your perception of what happened. It may not be the reality.
Okay.
It's what you perceive was yesterday. Say for example, if I was say joking about whatever and we were talking and then I say something maybe so lightly like joking, I say enye Chaksuna kwa na ufala sana ama Iroshwe ni mjinga sana. I might have been joking, but you took that so seriously and it affected you. So now that became your reality. So your yesterday is not really, it's not reality. It's just your perception of what happened. And that's the same with tomorrow.
Ukambia msee mwenye yako mangwai hivyo utafanya trip mbaya.
And that so what we really have is now this is what is real.
Okay.
Us being here now, what you know, there's a microphone here, I can touch.
We're having a conversation.
This is what is realistic.
Yeah.
And the sooner you teach yourself to live in the now, the better. Because a lot of times we fail to live for now because we're either agonizing about things that we did yesterday or we are worrying about what's coming. So you're never in the now, never ever. And life is happening now.
And speaking about worrying, you did you worked for KQ for 8 years.
Yeah.
Speaking about worrying. So and then that ended.
Yeah.
Ama you were retrenched, ndio?
Yeah, we were retrenched.
Unfortunately, I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
And then wewe ukakaa kwa nyumba ukasema now I'm retrenched. Hits blunt. Okay, what do I do? I'm gonna do improv comedy.
But now,
how was that?
Even the high after that was different because when you're high, the sky is.
You know, honestly, it was, and I've said this before.
Yeah.
BYSS, because you said so, was not at something that I sat down, you know, had a business proposal, projections, quota one, nonsense. That's a lie. Yeah. And you know, for me, I'm a living testimony of. Sometimes the important thing is just to start.
Okay.
We
Getting
waste
on the road.
we waste a lot of time, calculating, projections, what if. Jaribu ufail. Jaribu ufail. Then start something else.
Okay.
Because like for me, I had many ideas, many ideas.
Yeah.
BYSS was just one of the many ideas.
All right.
Yeah, it wasn't like now I have a budget of this much.
Yeah.
We just started with what we had. I just thought of I called Mugash, and I've told this story before. I called Mugash, and
That's Mugambi.
Yeah, Mugambi.
The other S strip.
Yeah.
and we had just coffee, and I was telling him, hey boss, I've been out of business business for so long, entertainment, I've been in aviation, I'm trying to find a way to come back, and I have this idea. I had so many ideas, and then the last one was like, and then I also have another idea. How about we do an improv show where there's no script? I'm like, cool, so who can we call for this show? Like, hey, June. Yeah, June would be great. Hi, is she? Here we are 5 years later.
Wait,
so
the show has no script. Like, you just
It's
get on
improv,
stage
yeah.
and you
It's
just...
improv, yeah.
So let me so do you consider yourself a comedian?
Yes, I would say so.
Okay.
For what it's worth, I think
That's a very interesting. I've actually never thought of it
Mseme
like
nikubali
that.
kuchekesha wasee ni hard.
Hiyo kazi ni...
It's
Si
not
rahisi
easy.
kuchekesha wasee.
But me nishaicheka. I've been to shows you're hosting as an MC.
Okay.
And I have laughed.
And
hard.
But you see, humor is as a result of, I think, somebody else relating or saying things that are so relatable to you that you actually think it's only you who goes through that. I'll give you an example. When you go to a friend's house or a visitor's house and you have to poop, everybody goes through that agony of that you had better have water.
Yeah.
Imagine that you must. Unainua cistern, una make sure kuna maji.
Alafu wamenyamaza watakusikia.
Because ukafanyia maneno then
Alafu unaharakisha ndio
water.
wasijua tumekaa hapo sana. So
Maybe you went for a short call.
everybody thinks that, but nobody ever talks about it. So when you have the
And then
courage
you flash and then it doesn't go.
it doesn't go. You're there with a
then now
bucket
you have to
trying to
chill.
mwaga maji from here.
You chill for like a thing that holds magic to refill again.
Exactly.
Flash a second time.
But you see, it's a common experience that everybody has.
Yeah.
But who talks about it? Try talking about that on stage. See the reaction. It's because everybody sees themselves
In
in that situation.
It's like something else I was reading. Like, why does it make people uncomfortable when you start talking about yourself a lot? Like, if you go on stage and for 20 minutes you're just talking about yourself. Talking about all the things you've done. Like, it's not like a forum for motivating people. This is not TED, Like, you're just on stage, but just praising yourself.
That's like the most annoying thing ever.
Why?
Yeah.
Because what makes listening to someone interesting is what I talked about before, is relatability. And I think that's one thing I try to do when I'm emceeing. I don't like to sound. I've even done a corporate gig. I was like, please, can we just lose this formalness? I want to be myself.
I want to be loose.
Yeah, and when we talk about that, it's things become relatable, and you as a person become relatable, and now that becomes a shared experience.
Yeah.
And the best things in life, honestly, are shared.
Because imagine you go on stage and then ukaanza manzi saa mimi
mimi.
nimesoma hivi nikafanya
Mimi
hivi.
mnoma.
Mimi mnoma man.
Mimi.
Like mimi hata msinione hivi. Hii show tu ni venye.
But imagine someone who comes and tells you,
Yeah.
mimi nimesoma mpaka PhD but sikuwahi kuwa na school fees. My family is poor. This is how I made it.
That's I don't
Now
is it because
Now
there's
people start now looking
Wow.
this maybe mtu anakumbuka ile time hakuwa na school fees hata kama it was once.
Or someone in that situation like,
Yeah.
hey, if that person can do it, then I can also do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you're telling me this interesting story about how you're 5 years and just what the process has been.
Yeah.
And please just say that again, just for these other guys.
So this year will be the 5th year of Because You Said So. Imagine.
5 years, bro.
Yeah, 5 years.
I feel like I knew when the first one happened. 5 years though.
I was in the village 5 years ago.
5 years is a long time ago.
2014 May 22nd, we went on stage for the first time.
I was in Nairobi.
Yeah.
Hey, where? Huko Nairobi, my friend.
Nilikuwa
Oh,
KU,
yeah.
nilikuwa nimekuja man.
Okay, 5 years, okay.
It's been a
Nilikuwa nimeanza kumea nywele hata.
it's been an amazing, interesting journey.
Yeah.
And I think the thing I've loved most about it has been the lessons. I've learned a lot of things that you would have never learned in school or otherwise.
All right.
Say, for example, before I never, ever considered myself a business person. In fact, I was okay being employed my whole life.
Yeah.
I knew it. I was like, biashara, those guys are strong.
Pressure nyingi nini.
But when you start, you get to learn small things. You do your first gig, it's 200 people, make mistakes here. Like the first one, we didn't even have I'll show you the poster. I don't think it had ticket details. Like you've thought so much about everything else.
But you didn't put tickets.
And then you missed out.
So what exactly were you doing?
And then on the day is when someone comes and tells you,
How much?
M-Pesa, what on Alipaje?
Oh my gosh. Uko like,
How do we?
there's people who have wanted to come
So
and
I was on stage with my phone and I'm seeing people are sending money. But now the guys at the gate don't know how to confirm. Like it was a simple thing. It was just, guys, let's do this. But now for the next show you learn.
Yeah.
You
never repeat the same mistake.
You never repeat the same mistake. It's a continuous process of growth.
Yeah.
And sometimes those lessons are very hard lessons.
Because I'm like, I know so many people who maybe adopt or would really want to do something, and then when you're beginning, there's those doubts.
Yeah, the fear of starting.
Even aside from the fear itself, sometimes just starting, maybe you need, you just need even very low capital. Sometimes you're not able to raise it.
Yeah.
I just want to know how you went from the first gig to the second gig. 1 year kaisha, bado karudi the second year. Of course, kuna zenye ziliflop, kuna zenye zilikuwa fiti.
Yeah.
What still kept you going? And just in that, when you're in those moments, what was your experience that just kept you going?
I think first things first, it was like that experience of, what they say, when you do drugs, your first high is always like, so I remember our very first show so vividly, and that experience of, and we only had 9 segments, and just to give perspective, usually now one show easily we can go through 30 segments.
Shit.
Yeah. Then we had nine segments, and it was our longest show. That show was, I think, 3.5 hours. In fact, we stopped because guys have choked, but we only had 9 segments. So that is one of the things that kept me doing it again. Show number 1 sold out. I mean, it was a small space. It was Michael Joseph. So there was a lot of people asking, please do this again, yada yada.
But did guys really understand what you guys were doing, like on the first show?
Now let me tell you, that poster only had my picture.
Alikuwa na sura.
Jina za cast members wengine. Alafu we just said, because you said so, and then hapo chini, a night of good laughs. That was it. I'll send you the poster, you'll see it.
5 years.
Because I think you have to see it to really understand.
But also, it showed me the value of partnering with people who believe in you.
Okay.
Because actually, it was not those people who came just saw a poster with my face and they were like, oh, we want to see this. No. It literally took all the cast members, each one invite 10.
You just get 10 friends.
Yeah, everybody. Yani, it was all hands on deck. It was all hands on deck.
So let me just to, because your first show was amazing.
Yeah.
Completely.
Yeah.
So we want to do a high, like a super high, like when, because would you call that your super high, like in your
the first
thing?
Yeah.
That would be the super high.
Yeah, that would be the super high.
Have you guys ever had like a super low and you just did it and you were like,
oh man,
more
than enough.
When I'm driving back home, like, what the heck was that?
More than once or twice or thrice. So you see, the most scary thing about improv is that there is no guarantee.
Okay.
You get if you have a script, this part will be funny. And if you've done shows where there's a script, most often than not, the audience will always check in the same spots.
Because you know when
you know where it's funny.
Yeah.
You know where it's funny.
Yeah.
But now we don't have that safety net for improv.
And you tempted though to just prepare before, like mnajua hapa nitasema nini.
So that no, you can't, because I also don't share the segments with the cast.
Because you have your own segment, they have their own.
No, I write the segments.
Oh. Hey.
So when we get on stage,
that's when wanajua.
We throw the segments to them. I tell them, like now, for example, things you can say about podcasts that you can't say about your wife. You know, then they have to think on their feet.
On stage.
Yeah.
On stage.
It's like Wild and Out.
And sometimes, and most often than not, and actually that's why the show is called Because You Said So, is because the audience also have a say. Like for example, we have a naughty chair.
Yeah.
Ukichapa joke na ichape, the audience are the ones who say, who punish you? They send you to the naughty corner. So they're involved.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And that's, so you see that's the beauty of BYSS because it's a shared experience.
Fuck, that means you have so many moments and you're like, oh shit, if I said this, Evie.
So what was
you
the
know those
super
moments?
Low? You still haven't answered. What was the super low?
So no, we've had many. You know, like I've written shows where almost the whole show was just guys.
Really?
Shit.
That's hard to imagine.
Yeah, guys just looking at you like,
There was
so
more,
am I getting
there
a
was
refund
more,
for my ticket?
Maybe not actually the whole show, but there was more stool moments. There was more naughty corner moments than there were like laughter.
By actual laughter.
You get, and then we've also had shows that are the total opposite where that chair was not used even once, so the whole thing was just. And I think the audience are starting to appreciate that this is a joint experience. It's an experience that we build together. So it's fun because they also come with that attitude, ready to participate, ready for fun. So if we go like, guys, so we're going on a date with a girl and her name is squeezing now on suggestions 4,000. You know, like everybody wants to participate
because people are coming and coming and coming, so they're already used to the routine and
they get a hang of it.
Exactly.
Damn.
And I think that's how life should be lived. Involve people in your life. Yeah. I mean, the people who are close to you. Because when you can only do so much when you.
And then you take it on a
ranger.
So usually take it on a journey. You do one here and then you go around sometimes you go out.
Ideally, what happens is we haven't stuck to the same location for a long time.
Okay.
So we started Michael Joseph. Then we went to Braeburn Theatre. Then we did one show at the Roop offices. Then we went to, I said Braeburn? Yeah. Then we went to Kani. We were at Kani for a long time there. Then after Kani, we moved to Radisson.
Yeah.
After Radisson, we moved to Junction. We performed at the Arboretum show. No, you didn't.
I did not.
No, you did not. That was another gig. That was a different gig. Yeah. But we had Arboretum. Then we went back to Kani. Now we are back at the Junction.
Yeah, but you have one where out in Nairobi.
So every year,
Samburu last year.
Every year we do one show in the wild. So the first one in 2015 we did in Amboseli, and it's interesting. I went to Amboseli 2 weeks ago. I was emceeing for a corporate gig there, and one of the guys who was there, young Masai guy, like I even took a selfie with him. I met the guy now. He's you know, you can see he's a guy.
Amekula sembe kidogo.
Hata chief nimemwambia huko.
Anasumbua wasichana huko hivi.
It's amazing to watch that growth. Yeah. And remember, there's something that Steve Jobs said that for me blows my mind. You can never connect the dots moving forward. You can only connect the dots looking back. It's only when now you've moved and then you look back, you're like, hey, you can
join the dots now.
But you can never see those things, make those connections looking in front.
Unless you're Jesus.
Unless you're Jesus, of course, yeah.
So now talking about hosting, especially doing corporate gigs.
Yeah.
Do you drop CVs in these offices? What is if I want to start like doing hosting, where do I start from? Like straight up for corporate gigs, especially corporate, because that's where the money is mostly.
That's an assumption people make.
Okay.
And sometimes assumptions are not always true. So it's just a matter of balance. Mm-hmm. If, say for example, if you get a big client, what are you trying to get from them? Because a lot of times actually what I've noticed, the bigger corporates, sometimes, not always, will pay less.
Oh yeah.
But you see, what that does, it works to your advantage, because when now you go to like a mid-level company and you tell them, I've emceed for so and so, then they're like, hey, if this guy has emceed for those guys,
and the mid-level companies are more,
and they must have paid him a lot of money.
So they know
whatever he asks
doesn't
for,
come cheap.
Whatever he asks for, mlipe.
But
and I agree, and a lot of young people who are wanting to get into the emceeing space have spoken to me and asked me, how did you get to the corporate space? It was literally getting one gig, you make mistakes. Then you're like, wait, hey, corporates are a bit sensitive about certain issues.
It's not BYSS anymore.
Yes. And then now from that, you're called for another one. And so one of the things that I'm trying to do now is if corporates allow me, sometimes I will go with someone to shadow, not necessarily to host, but just for them to also learn from the experience. Because I think it's very important for us to, opportunities have been given to us in the same, but it's very important. Not even necessarily to give back, create opportunities for people.
I love that.
Because if you succeed, I succeed.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, if say for example, I'll give you a good example. The guy who does for us our sound, for BYSS, he's done for us sound from gig number 1. And you see, initially we struggled to pay him. It was probably like 30K that we were struggling to pay. But you see now his business has grown, our business has grown. Now we pay for sound worth for 700-800 people. But you see, it's a relationship that we've built, and with Saidiana, there's so many times we were not able to pay, and I've had to go to his office, to beg and tell him, and this time we've not made money. Nikonoma. And he's like, okay, let's carry forward, let's keep going.
So when you make the money, you also keep the end.
You'll be surprised how much comes back to you when you give. And even sometimes not even necessarily giving money. I personally don't have enough money to give people, but there's places I can create opportunities. Say, for example, if it's a corporate gig that maybe is offering kidogo, then it's up to me to weigh and see, maybe if I work for this corporate, because they are a big corporate, other opportunities might come, MD might be there. There's
other people there who will
but
need...
truly, if I don't want to take the gig, I always recommend someone. And usually it's a younger MC, someone who's trying to get in the business.
Nice.
I'll say, there's this guy.
I'm joining you on the next one.
I'm not gonna accept whatever you're offering, but I know a guy who will accept that, and
he'll do a good
he's
job.
just as good. But you see, now it's on the honors on that person not to let me down, because also now you're putting your reputation on the line. The right will be, hey, Jason alitutumia mtu mwingine fala.
I'm wondering, because I feel like, and maybe because maybe we didn't really go back to where you started and all that stuff. Because the first BSS, you organized it yourself, and you started from a point of, I am doing this thing. So where ushaipewa exposure? Ushailipwa na exposure?
800 buckets of exposure.
As in, I'm just trying to see if there was a somebody akakubia, "Well, come host this show."
Tisho itakuwa na nani? Isho itakuwa na Michael Jackson.
I'd be lying if I said no. Because till today there are people who offer exposure. Till today. And then that's one thing an artist you'll deal with your whole life. Even when you have 2 million followers, there are people, I'm sure, who will still call you and tell you, hey, you don't know what this will do for you. That aside, even BYSS, I'd be very mean and stupid to say that it was all about me in the beginning. There were friends who rallied together. Cast came. Kina Patricia Kihoro, all of them showed up. We had not even discussed how much will you be paid. Them, they just came to support my idea. And those are the kind of friends you need. I can tell you now for sure, the bond we have with each other as cast members. In fact, what people see on stage is really a bonding. It's like us hanging out. It's normal hangout. But you see, it's but also you have to be an honorable person, that when the money comes in, that you also remember these people. The people. So, like, for example, there's a lady who's a friend of mine who, by default, ended up just becoming the usher for the first one. Just showing up and saying, this whole place is a mess. Let me help. Yeah, because now I have to be on stage. The photographer who came was my boy. He took photos for me, never charged me a cent. He was just like, you have a gig, I'll come through for you. Send me the picture. He took it as seriously as he would a corporate job. Send the pictures, but what did that do for him? He got a lot of corporate jobs, other jobs, just by virtue of, people call, hey, Jason, who's your photographer? It's this guy.
And now you're able to pay him.
Unfortunately or fortunately, he left the country. He left the country. But there's been a lot of those people who, people who've come through for us, and then, when the opportunity comes for me personally to recommend someone, say even if it's a big corporate, and they ask, if they ask me, do you know guys who do podcasts? It's easier to recommend, because one, you've experienced that person's work. You're happy to do it because they have come through for you. And it's not like you owe them, but it's just the honorable thing to do.
For sure. So 5 years from now, what is Jason doing?
I can't answer that. I don't know. If you ask me that question, if you asked me that question a year before I was retrenched from KQ, maybe I'd have told you I'd be a senior
MD,
person,
whatever.
I'd be head of in-flight or something.
Yeah.
The one thing I'm learning to embrace is the improv nature of life.
Okay.
You know, life is improv. People never realize that. Everything in life, it's improv. Like, we are literally improvising
Day in, day out.
day in, day out.
We're just swinging it. And
I'll
others
Just
give
winging it.
I'll
and
give you
other
an
flight
example.
ends.
I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
When you leave the house, ukuta ile barabara utumia iko na jam. What do you do?
Na
Quickly
Yeah.
think of a
You
of-
recalculate
alternative-
recalculate
Yeah.
and use another route.
Yeah.
Higher, you get to the office. Things are not going as you had planned.
There's no internet
So we
today,
are-
and
we
I
are-
need to send emails.
We are constantly improvising.
Yeah. But
We just don't realize it. For me, I can plan, but for me, those plans are not cast in stone because there's a lot of unknowns.
Yeah.
So those are the plans that I wanted to know. Because wouldn't someone also argue that if you say everything has to be improvised, then somehow you lack direction.
That's true. That's true. That's also true. What I'm alluding to is the fact that it's okay to plan, because also failing to plan is planning to fail.
Yeah.
But even in your planning, just know,
Be ready to change
be
things
ready
along
to
the way.
change things along the way.
Yeah.
So, for example, I've seen people who are doing so well. They have a 10-year strategic plan. They have what they have, and then all of a sudden a guy is sick, or even not even you, a close rela is sick,
And now things.
everything changes.
Yeah.
What does that mean for you? Does that
You also
mean
have to improvise and change.
you also
It
have to
means,
improvise?
it means as much as you want to plan, just
And even
be
for
ready.
the big corporates, think about this. There's events that happen that now, think about like now when social media came. Think about how it changed how people market.
Yeah.
While kitambo it was gazeti, lazima tuweke kwa
Ama
nini.
TV, ama radio.
And before they caught on, it was actually a long time before people started using social media.
Yeah.
But you should always be
ready to adapt.
Be
to change,
flexible.
Be flexible.
Adapt
Because I'm
to
thinking
change.
even now, in the next maybe 10, 15 years, even the whole thing of advertising, I'm sure it will have changed greatly.
completely.
So if you just stick to the kawaida social media we have now, you could be.
Yeah, because
left
people
out.
will have VR
Yeah.
and all those things.
Yeah,
Because
think
then now
about-
you still have a marketing company or a big corporate advertising on MySpace.
Yeah, I can, exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. Exactly. I'm glad you said that. So what are you listening to at the moment?
Man, for me, I listen to a lot of reggae music.
Yeah.
A lot. I also listen to a lot of this. I mean, one of the things I love is capoeira. So capoeira music is very nice.
The one for doing like martial arts and
Yeah.
all
Is it
that.
like
yeah.
is the origin Brazil?
Yeah. Actually, the true origin is in Africa. Because, capoeira was started by African slaves in Brazil. So what happened in Brazil is there was slaves from all over the world, all over Africa. Brazil, interesting fact, has the second largest number of black people in one country, only second to Nigeria.
Wait,
what
are
do
you saying
mean?
they have more black people
Than Kenya?
By far.
In terms of, you mean in terms of numbers?
Numbers.
Yeah.
Ah.
So that's how much.
And Nigeria has like 250 million
I know.
plus.
And the number of slaves that were taken to Stato, 7 times that number went to Brazil. Because the demand for sugar and all that for labor was so crazy.
Because of industrialization in Brazil, they
So
needed a lot of labor.
So you had a lot of Africans who were from different parts, some from Angola or wherever, from, a guy from Benin and a guy from Dakar. They don't speak the same language, similar cultures. So they came up with so the slaves apparently were not allowed to fight in between, amongst themselves. So they came up with a dance, with a fight that is also disguised as a dance. That's why when you see them, it looks
But you
like
have to
guys
be
are
really
dancing.
fit though.
You
The
learn
things
every
those
day.
people do is...
You learn.
Yeah. And it's also nice, chanting,
Yeah.
music, African chants. And
It's really a good vibe.
I'll
And
check
if
it-
you
I'll check it
listen
out.
to their music, it's very similar to Akorino music. It's very similar to reggae music, like the real spiritual reggae, like the bingy music. I mean, it's more or less the same. So I listen to a lot of that. I listen to a lot of African music. And then in our house, we have someone who listens to a lot of pop. So once in a while.
So once in a while, you
Once in
listen
a while,
up.
there's Miley Cyrus.
Oh, once in a while is a Kachaliputh in there.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, man.
You guys, what are you listening
I'm
to?
listening to Kwame Shamawedo. I've been listening to that song. It came out a long some time back, but I think it's when it's like in my system
Yeah.
right now. The song is called Samawedo. Taste the love for you.
I'm also listening to a lot of Kenyan music.
All right. Play
But,
KE.
but
KE, hashtag.
I mean, for me, it's not like the nini. It's not that.
Yeah.
It's people like Erosh.
Yeah, like
Yeah, man.
really good Kenyan music.
Say it
like-
again. Ebu say it for the people pale
Hey,
back.
twasamani hado kila fuinde.
Wow.
Priska Ojwang.
Yes.
There's a lot of really Wanja Wahoro.
Yeah.
There's a lot of. I miss people like Mutinda. I miss Winyo.
The
Hey,
Harikimanis.
we know.
The Harikimanis. Yeah,
Who
there's
is back now?
Harry Kwan is playing. Is it this week? Or was it last week? This week at Speaker Box, I think.
I think it's this week.
It's this week.
Yeah. So he played on Wednesday. This comes out on Friday.
Oh yeah. So yeah. Unfortunately, Harry Kimani already played at Speaker.
So there's a lot of. I mean, I support the whole thing of support Kenyan music.
Yeah.
I get that, and I insist that we must support our own artists, because even us, I mean, we're supported by local people.
Yeah.
But also as an artist, Hirosh, Chaksi, it's up to you to also not expect that people should just support me because I'm Kenyan.
Yeah, because you're Kenyan.
It's up to you to do the honors, to actually do the work, write a good song, get a good producer, clean it up properly. So that when you're giving, there's one thing we always say when we are going on stage, leave everything on stage.
Okay.
And I can, there's those times you can tell, this one I just, even like when I'm emceeing, there are times you can just
Rather
tell,
than to collect, yeah.
I winged it.
Yeah.
And that thing, I don't want people to support BYSS because
just
we
wing
must
it.
support Kenya.
Yeah.
No, I want them to support us because there's value that they see in our art,
they
and there's
actually,
value that they get.
Yeah.
And that when they come for the show, they actually feel better. They're like,
So that they'll
that
come next
yeah.
time and recommend someone and bring someone.
Yeah.
Nice.
What are you listening to?
So I'm an old soul. I'm one of the guys excited about Westlife getting back together. So I'm listening to a new song.
Westlife are getting back together.
Yeah.
They already did,
Oh
but
my god! I hope they're not being dumped again. Maybe those guys are always being dumped.
man.
They have a couple of new songs.
Could you leave
Yeah.
me?
I think all the
So
houses in the building I was staying in used to play Westlife, so I grew up tired. Tired.
How do you tell them?
That I'm a fool
Again.
again.
They were playing Westlife and P Square. I remember it was like
Dun, dun,
this.
dun, 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 dun,
So
dun,
lay
dun.
down.
Lay down,
Hiyo ndio siku ya
dun,
silk
dun,
shirts
dun.
za orange.
Na masharpshooter.
I want
Yes.
Michael Lance to rock. I don't know if you
I love
anyway.
Michael Lance.
I remember Michael Lance.
those
I
are-
love
tumesumbuliwa kwa
Michael
plot.
Lance.
Tumesumbuliwa, but it's
Na
all
zote
good.
ziko naanza na ching.
Yeah. Anyways, bro, thank you so much for pulling over.
Oh man.
I think because
Thanks for
now
having me.
we are also on the road. We'll come at BYSS and do a live recording from the grounds.
Yeah, kwanza me I'll definitely have to see Patricia.
Why?
It's Patricia.
Umse Patricia umpate sleepless nights. Now that you are friends, please
Mdomo.
relay. I think we can come.
Ebu rudishia Erosh. Ebu help him roll his tongue back.
Yeah.
We'll try to do something. Maybe
Yeah.
we can
You're
do a red
welcome.
carpet thing.
No. I mean, you're more than welcome. You're more than welcome.
Thank you. Anyway,
Yeah.
there's an exhibition that is happening at the Kioko Art Gallery.
It's amazing.
One of the guys who helps us with camera work, Billy, the most annoying person in this crew.
Yeah,
he has
that's a
some
fact.
amazing pictures that you can come to Kioko Art Gallery and actually
And buy.
Hizi bado ni pictures. Ama zikishare kwa hivi zinabadilisha.
Hizi ndo zimebaki, hizi ndo zimeuzwa.
Prints. All right. Anyway,
Yeah, Aerosh official everywhere. Remember to subscribe and give us a thumbs up. And if you want to say something, leave a comment.
and be nice in the comments.
No, just be honest.
Yeah. Maybe you can tell us when the next gig is, and then you can put it on the show.
So our next BYSS is June.
Okay.
It looks like it's gonna be on June 8th.
June 8th.
Yeah, Saturday, June 8th. Yeah.
Amazing. And I go by that guy Chaksi across all social media handles. We go by Just Kidding Podcast. Until next week. Bless up.
I didn't say my socials.
Say your
You say-
socials.
At Jason Runo.
Is it Bruno or Runo?
No, it's like Bruno without the B.
I don't understand.
Runo.
Runo.
But it's
But to
R-O-N-O.
enjoy.
R-U-N-O. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jason,
Runo.
Jason, like July, August, September, October, November, and then Runo, R-U-N-O.
Tazieka hapo hivi.
Yeah.
All right, bless up, man.
Bless up.
Thing recording.
Hey, pause. What the
Okay.
Who said that?
Who said that?
Zoom in. Wait a minute.
Wait a minute. Listen up.